Plenty of brickwork and blockwork is going up. This is going to be a massive step forward, starting to get the ground floor shell up. It's time for a momentous point of the job. The scaffolding is going up at the front of the house. Ripped out this floor and our joists have now arrived and being delivered as we speak. We're down in the basement and it is time to start getting these bad boys up there. For once in our lives, we've actually had some really hot weather and we're actually hating it, haven't we?
Yeah, we moan about it.
Yeah. It's either too hot, or it's too cold, or it's raining, or it's whatever, anything, whatever it is. We are British and we've got to complain about the weather. So, James has just done a little bit of excavating in this corner down here.
Down there.
Oh yeah, down there in the corner. So basically what this is for, we're going to need to put a gulley in here, and that is going to connect through into our 4-inch pipe inside that you've seen before. And what that gulley is going to take, there's going to be a slot drain which runs across the edge of this retaining wall here. So any groundwater that forms in this little light well here will slope down towards that, hit that ACO, and then go out through and out through the back. It will also take all the water from the front of this roof into this downpipe here. So the reason I've got James to excavate this now, obviously we've got no slot drains in or anything like that. The reason I've got him to do this is that next week the scaffolding is going up at the front of the property to enable Will to get up there and basically strip the front of the roof. We've got some purling repairs to do as well, and then he can refit that roof on there. But what that does mean as well is that this downpipe is going to be coming off, because obviously we're going to take all the guttering off. But what we need to do once we've reinstated the guttering is basically, before we put that on, because we are going to have decoration done on the front, is put some temporary downpipe, some of the elephant trunking, the plastic stuff, connect that down there, straight down into this gulley here. Obviously this excavation wouldn't have been able to be done once the scaffolding's up, so it's important to get it done now, get it all connected, so when we do come to do it, we can easily just push this bit of plastic pipe straight down here and into that, and then any water that does occur will not just be running down the front, it will hit the gutter and then come down and out through there. That's the reason why James is suffering this morning, because he's had to do that. So the guys got this in, so there's 2 ton of MOT in there so far. We're just about to whack that down again, just to make it obviously compacted. And then we've got some more on the van out here, ready to drop in. Obviously got this cable and this pipe protected as well in the meantime, the bit that's going to be under this anyway. I'll just take you out the back and show you out the back quickly. So Alex is on his hoddy bobs at the minute. When he gets back, him and Ian are going to start out here and just basically start getting the external shell up. So we just need to get everything loaded out. We've got a load of bricks here, we've got all our cuts we need for the corners that you've seen Pete doing. Basically everything's just going to be ready for them so they can hit the ground running on Monday. We've got some insulation to get, some more thermalite blocks to get. We've got our 7.5 Newton blocks there, because this pillar right here, just here, is going to be supporting a lintel that runs across there, a lintel that runs across there, and also the steel which runs across here as well to carry this wall all the way up. So there's going to be quite a lot of weight on that pillar there, so that needs to be built in 7.5 Newton blocks, hence why we've got those there. So yeah, we just got basically a bit of loading out to do, some more stones to get out of the front, just a little bit of work, so we better get cracking, let's do it. Right then, so it is done, it is filled up to where we can fit up to for now, because obviously this retaining wall here is lower than that one, like we've explained before, because of the ground levels, blah blah blah. So for the time being, until this is built up, this is as high as we can go. So we've got 6 ton of MOT in here, and then obviously pea gravel around our gas and our electric mains. We've wrapped those in the tape as you've seen as well, got all that protected. So now what we're going to do is basically just put a bit of framework in here and put some timbers across, just to bring our walkway back in, so we can easily put our step back in and get up into the property. The scaffold is due today, just to make a start on the scaffolding, so that will be good as well to get that up in preparation, ready for Will the roofer. Yes! Check out Will's Instagram, it's in the description below as well. Go over and check out his Instagram and make sure you give him a follow. He is a good bloke. We are very much looking forward to having him back on site. James is over there. Hi James.
Hi.
Busy in the corner, sorting out our drainage. Drainage Solution James he is today. What he's doing is basically getting a couple of 90s together through our hole into our drainage out there, so we can get rid of this pipe, put a bit of elephant trunk in on there and drop that in. All in time for the scaffolders to get here, eh James? No pressure? No pressure at all? No. Right, what I'm going to do, we've got some pea gravel left on the van. I'm going to get that around the back because there's a bit more drainage that needs covering over. I'm going to shoot off and get some more stone because, like I said earlier, we need to make sure everything out the back is prepped and ready for the brickers, and just get some more blocks, insulation, all that sort of stuff. Today is just going to be a day of back and forwards, running around, getting materials, getting everything ready. It's all in the preparation. What's that saying, James? Prepare to fail, fail to prepare?
Prepare to fail.
That's the one of those, yeah. So we need to make sure we're preparing because we don't want to fail. Right, and guys, it's time for a momentous point of the job. The scaffolding is going up at the front of the house. We got all this ready just in time. Guys from Shy Scaffolding are here to do an amazing job, obviously, of getting this up and making sure that Will can do his work, decorator can do their work, and we can still get all this built in the meantime as well. So I've set a little time lapse up there so you can watch these guys work their magic while we carry on out the back and get that prepped and ready. Let's do it. Our scaffolding is now up. You would have seen the guys installing this. So this now enables Will, the roof is going to be back, yes! Will to get up there and do our roofing work. Once he's done up there, we can then drop that top lift from there down to the next one, and then this is all ready then for decorating. So like I mentioned before, we're just going to basically patch in the render where we need to, and then the whole front facade will be decorated nicely. We've got our gulley down in that corner and got that connected through inside, so that will take the rainwater from the roof and the rainwater from this section here straight out the back. That's basically the front done. We've also stoned up in here as well. Got all this stoned up, got our pea gravel, got our services wrapped as well, so they're all good. That's all safe under here for the time being. Obviously this will be built up more when we need to, but for now that is exactly where we need it to be. Right, out the back. So we had our slab poured obviously when we had that poured as well, but now it's all done, it's all going well. We've removed our insulation, so you saw our little insulation jig that we made for our channel that ran all the way around the outside. So what we did, as you saw, we put our insulation in and our batten in, and that's then enabled us just to strip that out totally, and that has given us the perfect channel that we need all the way around. So we've got 100mm by 50mm here. The slab went nicely underneath it. So this is all one continuous slab through here, and then obviously that channel will just sit in there then. So any water that comes through this way or up through this way will just go straight into that channel and then work its way out to here. So we installed some additional drainage which you saw, which was in the channel, which comes up there. So our drains will run straight over the top of that, and then the outlet goes through there and out to here into our pump. So there's the concrete around the pump that you can see. So you saw we did the shuttering around that, so that's all nice and solid. And then that pump then pushes out into there. We've also got our non-return valves on here. That basically stops anything backing up and through here. And because that lovely Victorian drain that was in there that runs through here can be prone to flooding, it can push the water back up and it can come up through and into the toilets, through the sink, stuff like that. So that non-return valve there prevents that. It literally allows stuff to go that way but not come this way, which is obviously, you do not want an old drain with everybody else connected to you backing up into your property, because there might be some very nasty surprises that come through and you don't want those, do you? Right, the lads are out here now as well, getting the brickwork up. It's monumental when the brickwork starts to go up. So this is going to be a massive step forward, starting to get the ground floor shell up. So the guys are just getting everything set up now. I'll get a time lapse set on this so you can watch those guys work their magic. Right, we'll go upstairs. So in here, hi. Morning. Yeah. So Peter's just basically removing the old floor in here. This is going to be the bathroom upstairs, the main bathroom. He's going to get all this deno, get all this cleared out, and then get the ply floor down in there. Got our stud wall up in here, so this is going to be the ensuite in here. Hi. This is going to be the ensuite for the master bedroom. So we've got our stud wall up there. We've also got our stud wall here, which is obviously defining the point between the master bedroom and the bathroom. New ceiling joists in here. New ceiling joists in here. These were ridiculously small. What we have noticed as well though is up there, hopefully you can see it there, that purlin that runs right the way across is very rotten. So we're going to have to remove that and replace it. That runs right the way across the front of the property, right the way through there. So when Will comes and strips this roof off, we've got all the weight off the roof, we're then going to reinstate these, put some new purlins in it there. It's a bit of a pain, but it needs to be done. they're not going to last much longer. And obviously we're selling this house, we want to make sure that when a survey is done, everything is structurally sound and solid. And we don't want to leave it anyway because it's knackered. So obviously we need to replace that. Right, let's do some work. Right then, so the guys are absolutely smashing it out here, and we'd expect nothing less, obviously. So plenty of brickwork and block work is going up. So I'm just going to take a little minute just to talk you through exactly what's going on out here. We've got a ground floor extension going in here, around this point here. I've been through this before, but just so you can see a bit better now, there's actually brickwork going up. So we've got where this pillar is here to where Alex is there with his profile. That is basically going to be one large opening, which is just under 3.7 metres. We've also got another opening here, which is going to be about 2.2 metres. So that will go into the bedroom, this will go into the kitchen. We're still undecided as to what the make of these doors, these openings are going to be, i.e. is it going to be a bifold, is it going to be French doors, sliding doors? That will become apparent later. But for the time being, the lads are just getting the shallop. This middle column here, this piece of brickwork is going to have 7.5 Newton blocks on the inside, because this is going to be taking the steels which are going to run across here. Also, those steels that run across there are going to be taking 2 steels which are going to come across here. And all these 4 steels here are going to be taking the inner and outer leaf of the brickwork, which is going to form the full height extension running up to the top of the property there from this floor right the way up. So this column here needs to be fully reinforced with these 7 Newton blocks rather than just the thermalites. It's also going to take the catnic lintel, which is going to run across here and across there, so there's going to be quite a lot of weight bearing down on that. So it's very important that's obviously nice and solid with our 7.5 newtons. Working out coursing has obviously been a bit of a nightmare. If you know anything about brickwork at all, you'll know metric and imperial bricks are, well, metric blocks and imperial bricks are an absolute nightmare to match up because they just don't work. They're different heights, they're not designed to work together. So I've had a bit of a chat with building control, because on our reveals there needs to be a tie in every single course of blocks, just on the reveals. The rest of it is the standard spacings, but on all our reveals it needs to be that way. So we scratched our heads over lots of bits, lots of various scenarios, how we could try and get over it. I've spoken with building control and they are totally happy for this to happen. So what we had to do is basically bend a tie down like so. So if you are bending a tie, it's important to note that you always bend it from the inside out, so downhill from the inside out. If you bend it the other way and there is ever any water transfer, it will drip towards the house and the water will run straight down towards the house, whereas this way it will run outside, so it's going to eliminate that issue. Every other course of blocks, to make all our ties work everywhere else, we're having to cut the block down. We're having to cut 35mm off the overall height of the block, so it works to the course with our bricks. Once the lads have got a few more blocks up, I'll be able to show you exactly what I mean with that, but just to get it to work gauge, that's what we've had to do. Speaking of gauge, we're not going to be physically like stitching the bricks in, so we're not going to be taking out, you know, bricks here so we can tie the brickwork in. We are going to be using wall starter kits up there, but it's still important that our brick gauge matches. Down here there's going to be absolutely no point in trying to match in with that brick gauge up there, so we're making our own gauge to suit our blocks and make our lives a lot easier down here. So there's no point at all in trying to match up with that brick gauge, because it's just not going to achieve anything. It's just going to cause more hassle than it's worth. So we've set our own gauge here, so like I say, it matches nicely, well, as nice as it can with the metric blocks. So the parapet will come up to approximately this level here, and obviously run around the perimeter of the ground floor extension. And then the only bricks we're going to need to gauge with the house are going to be these ones up here, because they are the only ones that are actually going to be tied to the, well, that you're going to see that are going to be tied to the house across there. So when we get up to this height, then we'll have to work out exactly where we're at, get the gauges sorted out, and then we can get that all done. But once we get up there, I can show you that in a bit more detail anyway. One more thing as well. So we've obviously had to, because of new regs, had to put in 150mm cavity. Normally what we do is we put that rigid stuff in. I can't think what it's called now. Can you remember what it's called now? It's King Therm stuff, isn't it? It's a King Therm insulation we put in that's got like the felt back on. It's a fantastic product, but it's a very long process installing it. So what we've decided in this case we're going with just 150 mil, so it's going to be a full fill cavity, 150 mil of the glass wall insulation.
If you use it anyway, because it has to stick on the blockwork on
Yes,
the side.
yeah.
We've got to do the brickwork first, otherwise we won't get to it.
Yeah, Alex has said a very good point there. So we are unable to use the Kingspan stuff because you need to put the blockwork up first, and then your ties come through that, and then it gets stuck to, not stuck to, but it fits to the blockwork itself, and then you have the void, you have a void then against the brickwork. But because we've got to build the bricks up first, because we're obviously tight between these spaces, we're unable to do that at all. So we're now using the fiberglass stuff in these cavities to mitigate that problem totally. That is why. I knew Alex would know exactly why, because he's the one that spent countless hours installing the stuff, haven't you, mate? Right, that's it. Let's get on with it. Let's do it. Right, exciting times. We've ripped out this floor and our joists have now arrived and being delivered as we speak. So basically just going to get these fired straight through there, straight downstairs, get them all stacked up out of the way, and then we're good to go. We can start getting that floor in tomorrow then. Just one small issue. This may be a little bit broken. We might not be able to use this one. We'll probably use it for noggins, but hopefully these timbers are strong enough to do the job. They are 7x3s, so they will be. I think this has just had a bit of clearly a hard life, and it's had a good old whack and it's snapped it. So all these timbers here, like I mentioned, are 7x3s, and they are going to go all the way across here, from that steel into this steel, and then from this steel across here into pockets on the walls. We are going to need to use some masonry hangers across here, because obviously we've got a lintel there for the window. So we can't put any pockets there because there's a lintel, and that kind of defeats the object of a lintel. So yeah, we'll put the hangers on there and then they can just sit in there, but these will be pocketed in across here. The reason for 7x3s is basically the span. We've got a big old span there. It's like 4.3 meters, I think this span is. So just a normal 2-inch timber wouldn't do that. So these bad boys will definitely do the trick. It's a slightly shorter span here, but it just makes life a lot easier if we just got the same timbers throughout. So hence using these. So that's it. Right, they're all done. That's one job done. Let's get back upstairs and carry on up there. Right, and so we're up here now and we're sorting out the ceiling joist. So what we've done is basically laser leveled our edges to make sure that we are good. So this point here is perfectly level with this point over here. But because they're quite a long span of timber, there's obviously a bit of flex in them. We put the crown facing up, as you would do, because the natural weight and gravity will pull it down to flatten it out, rather than putting the bow of the timber down this way and it's sagging further. And then what we've done with this binder that's running across here, we've leveled that, giving us the right distance. It touches there, but it needs to come up a little bit there as we have, so we've packed that up so it works well with our ceiling perimeters. Now what we're doing, because we know this is level, we know this is level, and we know this is level, I'm basically running this string line across just there. You can just see that pink line running all the way across there, and then I'm bringing all these joists down or up accordingly to suit, so everything's fixed in nicely to this binder here. And then all these timbers, we know that the ceiling is going to be nice and flat throughout. It's a pretty good way of doing it. I'm literally just packing each joist individually as I go with the string line, just to make sure everything lines up nicely. And that's it. This ceiling will then be ready. Possibly got some more noggins put down here just to carry the board, but apart from that we're good. One other thing to notice, where this bay comes out and where we've got this purling across here, the rafters do come further that way, which means they actually angle further down, so they were coming into the ceiling, so there was a bit of a curve, if you remember me talking about previously. So what we've done, we've actually dropped the ceiling down enough so we eliminate that, and what that means is now we've got a perfectly flat ceiling, so that means we can get our coving all the way around. When the ceiling rolled down before, our coving would have had to have stopped at these points there and over there in this corner. So now it's flat, it means we can get our coving all the way around the ceiling, and it's going to look a lot better. So that's why we've dropped it down slightly, just to accommodate that. We've done that in the other room as well, in the other bedroom over there, so that's exactly the same. Just means we can have coving everywhere upstairs now, so just looks a little bit nicer. Right, I'll hop back up there and carry on. Right then guys, so we're down in the basement and it is time to start getting these bad boys up there. Hi Pete, by the way. Hi, hi, hi. So, basically what we need to consider when we're doing this is this threshold here, this doorway. This is going to be the only doorway into this room upstairs. That door over there is going to be totally blocked off, so we haven't got to consider that. We need to consider our floor levels throughout because we don't want steps or anything like that. But this point here, where our joists come through here, is going to be our governing point for setting the rest of the floor, because obviously we don't want a step coming through on this threshold. So we've worked it out and we're within, what was it, like a mil, 2 mil?
2 mil.
2 mil.
With the existing cut we've done.
So the cut over there, if you remember, I put that timber in there at the back just to carry the plasterboard and the floor above. So that works really well. So by the time we get over here, we'll be pretty much bang on where we need to be. So what we're going to do now, we're going to set up a little workstation. We're going to get these cut down to length. We're going to get some templates cut for the webbing of the steel, get whatever we need to pack everything up nicely, and then we can get these smashed in. Let's do it, Pete. We're up on the awesome G deck and just wanted to show you the little template we've got. So like I explained, we're very good on a level here. We're also very good on a level there. We just basically need to jack our timber up. We always knew there was going to be a bit of a discrepancy. We're going to end up with a bit of a bulkhead where this steel is here, because the depth of this steel is greater than our timbers. And obviously to maximise the headroom in this room and in the room out there, well, it's all going to be one room, but you know what I'm saying, the separate ceilings, we're going to end up with a bit of a bulkhead at this stage. Whether we decide to actually drop the ceiling later is to be confirmed, but for the minute we're going to make sure that we can get as much headroom in this room as possible. So that does mean that we're going to have a little bit of a bulkhead there. We're only talking about 30 mil. So what that means is we're going to jack these timbers on this side right up as far as we can. So there's just a small notch going out at the top of this timber, and then we're going to have to put a plate across the bottom to raise that up as high as we can. And this side, this actually needs notching out just like that. So you can see how everything's going to work with this joist. So this is effectively the bottom of the joist here, and then the top is going to run in flush with this. It does obviously mean that we're not going to be able to fix any of the flooring direct to this, but we are going to probably use some OB1 on the top of this just to hold everything down nicely. It's only a very small span to go over, so it's not the end of the world. Obviously you don't fix constantly all the way across, so spanning that's not going to be a problem. But you can just see now how our joists are going to work and sit in there nicely. So Pete's just working on the first one now. So what we're always going to do is just basically get a template set out, and then we can offer that up, check it fits this side, check it fits that side, and then we're good to go. What it also means as well, before we cut that strip to go across there, we can get our joist in, and then we can jack it up, get a level on top, and make sure that we're where we want to be, and then we can get a definite measurement and a thickness of the plate that's going to sit in the webbing of that steel to get us up to level. That's it. Let's do it, Pete. A bit tight, mate. Well, too tight here.
Well, it needs to be a bit shallower, does it?
Yeah, these are just a bit off this top piece here.
Alright, no
just
worries.
drop it in a bit.
Okie dokie.
We've got clearance on the bottom here.
Okay.
So I think once we took that off, that should just slide in and sat nicely on the bottom here.
Okay.
I think that's going to work pretty well there.
Okay.
Right, so we just offered it up. And there's a tiny little bit of discrepancy, so we just need to shave that down slightly, and then that will sit nicely in the webbing of the steel. That's why it's important that you always do a template first, just one single one, just to check it out, rather than ripping a load off and go, yeah, that'll be fine, because then you'd have to go and alter each and every single one of them. So Pete's just going to sort that out now, and then we'll get it back in. That's better, mate. Beautiful. Bang on there, mate. That's beautiful, that is. Pete's basically just wedged up over there just to get it right up to the bottom of the steel, and then we just checked the level, and that was bang on straight across there, so we are absolutely where we want to be. It did work out to be 23 mil, so we're going to basically machine one of these down now, rip a 23 mil strip off that, because we've got a broken one over there. So we'll rip that down, and then we can use that then just to plant basically on this part of the steel, and then our timber on that side will just sit on top of that bit of timber, wedge it up underneath here, and then we're good to go. Then we've got lots and lots of machining up to do, lots of noggins to put in. We're going to put a double in here, because if you can see over there, basically where the top of the stairs are, this is going to carry the timbers which will run through there into that, so we need to put a double in here, and then the rest of them will just be singles all the way up to this steel, and then obviously noggins in between. So we're putting perimeter noggins in the steel here to stop these ever moving, perimeter noggins over that side as well, and then there'll be a single noggin through the middle to stop any twist. But we are also going to put noggins at 1200 sensors to take plasterboard throughout the ceiling as well. But we'll do that once the whole ceiling's done, so we can work out where we're going to start with the plasterboard, etc, etc. Let's get it done. Right guys, that's it, another day is done. We've absolutely smashed it today, as always. Alex and Ian have smashed through out here. We're making very good progress outside. This is all looking good. Me and Pete have started getting these joists in up here, so we've got 3 more to get in over that side tomorrow, and then obviously just get it all noggined out and then start onto that side. The lads upstairs as well finished the ceiling, so they're all done. So yeah, we've made good progress. Tomorrow we're going to continue with the good progress. We've had the delivery as well of all the slates for the roof, so that's all ready for Will. Everything is lined up ready for him to get straight onto that roof and smash it in, so we're really looking forward to that. Right, we'll see you in the morning. Right guys, that's it. That's the end of another episode. If you've enjoyed it, you know what to do. The same old drill. Give us a big thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed. Once you've done all that as well, head over to truetrade.co.uk. If you are in the trade, it is exactly what you need in your arsenal to help streamline your business. There's so much stuff on there. It's definitely worth a look. With all that in mind, on the next episode, Will, the roofer, the man, the myth, the legend, is back on site. He's going to be working on the roof. We're going to be stripping loads of stuff out in the loft as well. It is a full, jam-packed episode, so that's it. We'll see you next time. Take care, guys.